The Minnesota Wild. The new Toronto Maple Leafs are the playoffs? Not for long with how good their future looks. And with such a unique identity for their playstyle, at full strength, it's going to be hard for teams to compete with this. They really build their skill from the outside in. Their defensemen now and for the future are all fast, dynamic skaters who can provide a lot of offense while also being anchors on the defensive end because of their skating and ability. As for their offense, I think it's very unique. They have their skill players as their wingers rather than their centers. Take guys like Kaprizov and Boldy, while their top line center was Ryan Hartman. Now I think this is interesting because Vegas dabbled with this a little bit as well. Before Eichel, when they threw Chandler Stevenson up there on the first line and had William Karlsson run the second line. This is because they had fantastic wingers like Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty to put beside him and had Chandler Stevenson run up and down the ice, being the grindy player to provide for them. Stevenson was always the first one in on the forecheck as well as the first one back on the back check for this line. It took a lot of the defensive responsibility as well as pressure off of the skill players on his wing, as well as the bump and grind aspect in the corners. When the center is patrolling the middle of the ice in all three zones, so then all the wingers have to worry about is covering their points and being ready for breakouts. But this only works when you have a guy who does have a little bit of an offensive flair to him, like a Ryan Hartman, like Chandler Stevenson. Because playing with two skilled wingers, there are going to be opportunities for you in the offensive zone and you cannot fumble it. Even with an abnormal amount of offense coming from the back end, you still have to be able to finish your opportunities. But here's the thing, those are small sample sizes. What about trying this strategy throughout an entire offensive lineup? And with the way that Minnesota's been drafting, this looks like where they're headed. With fantastic young prospects like Yurov, Ogren, Beckman, Shaw, and your best center prospect being Marco Rossi? Now, don't let that confuse you. I love Marco Rossi. He's honestly one of my favorite prospects in the prospect world. But the drop-off after him is so far. So my thought is that after watching how good Ryan Hartman, Matt Boldy, and Kaprizov were this year, with fantastic wing prospects coming up, why not just stick to this identity? Cap-wise, centers are so much more expensive, so why not stockpile incredible wingers and just get grindy centers that can score? And although Marco Rossi obviously isn't that kind of a guy, he's a very skilled player, you need one of those centers at least. Playing alongside Matt Boldy and Kaprizov, his size won't be an issue at all. So this is what I think their projected lineup for the future is going to look like after this draft year. I think they take the guy you've been watching, Otto Stenberg, standing at 5'11", 181 pounds, skating for Frölunda in the J20 in Sweden. In 29 games, he had 11 goals and 15 assists for 26 points. Now, although that's not groundbreaking, you watch the film and it's a different story. With the Wild's pick at 22, they're going to be getting people scraps. So why not reach just a little bit and get a player who's perfect for your team? The kid plays exactly like Ryan Hartman with a great scoring touch. He's exactly what they need. Hard on the forecheck, first one on the back check. With tenacity and a lot of speed, this kid is scary coming at you. And like I said before, he has really good scoring touch, good offensive IQ, and if called upon in a situation, he can finish a play. He's got to work a little bit on his stride as well as his passing, as well as the fact that he needs to shoot more. All of this can be solved in Minnesota. Everyone on that team is an incredible skater and it will elevate this kid's development. As for passing, the role that he's going to be expected to play on this team is really not going to require him to make more than maybe a 10-foot pass, 15-foot pass. Obviously, he'll need to work on that a little bit for breakouts, but in this role, he's never going to be called upon to be the main playmaker on a line. So the offensive production on his line is never going to be hindered because of his lack of being able to playmake. He's got a scorching hot wrist shot and a perfect grinder who can finish. He's perfect for this team. But as always, we explore another option, Samuel Honzek, the 6'4", 185-pound Slovak, playing for the Vancouver Giants in the WHL. This kid is much the same story of Otto Stenberg, but a little different. He has a lot of the grindy skills that Otto Stenberg has. Hard on the forecheck, very physical, first on the back check, but his offensive strengths are really around the net. He's a really good playmaker in small areas right around the net to finish plays, gets to the net or finds a soft spot, and has a great scoring and playmaking touch anywhere below the dots. As we talked about before, this is perfect for this team, although I do think that his options are a little limited offensively due to his lack of shiftiness. He can work on that, and although he'll have to change up his game a little bit, still would not be a bad pick, and as I projected in the lineup, he would be a perfect third-line center for the future. I don't think that this team needs a game-changing pick. I think that they need the right pick, because all the pieces are set for them to make a run. They just need a pick to their identity, and these are the two best guys for that. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and comment your team. I'm doing the most requested teams.